Well, joining me now are two of the men at the center of one of those lawsuits, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss. They attended Harvard with Mark Zuckerberg and alleged that he agreed to write code for them on a similar social networking website before surreptitiously starting Facebook. They already reached a reportedly $65 million settlement with Facebook, but they are trying to reopen this case. I want to disclose here that I've known you guys for a while now, so I've followed your story, but it really hasn't been told until very recently. With this film, it's starting to come out in dribs and drabs. But I want to start off here, Tyler, with this idea, because if you go and see the Aaron Sorkin film, you walk away with the understanding that this is about the theft of an idea. Is it that simple?
It's not that simple. Certainly that's a part of what the whole controversy is about, but a huge part, and in fact even a larger part, is the sabotage of the partnership that Mark entered into with us, the sabotage of the Harvard Connection website, and stringing us along for 3 months so he could be there to market first, which is something that Mark took away from us because of all of the stall tactics. So he effectively defrauded us.
So, and with that, it's literally in the lawsuits that you filed, trailing it down to a day-by-day allegations of when he started this versus what he was communicating to you. So, with this, though, I mean, some people watch the movie or they hear the story and they say, so why not stage revenge by coming out and launching a competing product if you had the idea in the first place? Why not, Cameron?
Well, that's a very good question, Margaret. Essentially, not only did he take the idea, but he also took the execution and the first mover advantage. And that, we were let on for approximately 90 days. So from the day Facebook launched to the day we could complete Connect You and get it out, about 90 days elapsed, because we were led to believe that it was being complete when it wasn't. And I think by that time, Facebook had gained about 250,000 users in that small little time span. So first mover advantage and the inherent growth capabilities of the site were so strong that it was literally impossible to overcome once he had done that.
And with this and being first out there, the difference is you guys were the idea guys. He was the execution one because he was the one building the site, right?
Well, that's not entirely true. We were the idea guys. We also were the execution strategy guys, business rollout. So we actually had 2 programmers who worked on the site prior to Mark, and then for almost a year. And then Mark came on, and he was actually to complete the site, not to build it from scratch. In that period, he looked at our source code, he looked at our execution strategy, which was to start at Harvard and to march out to other schools around the country. No other website, niche social network, has ever done that.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence to us that that's how Facebook launched.
Well, one of the things that's not in the film, and I know you guys have worked on, is this other element of the story, the allegation of securities fraud there. It's a serious allegation, and I know we have a bit of the filings here. Specifically, you said when you signed the settlement that's reportedly $65 million, Facebook told you the shares that you were given were worth more than 4 times what they internally valued them to be. So Facebook knew the shares to be $35.90 you maintain, but told you it was $8.88 a share. You're alleging securities fraud here, that you were knowingly misled. If that's the case, why didn't your lawyers catch this?
Well, it's Facebook being a private company as it is right now, they're the only ones who have their own internal valuations and that information. It's not like we can go on to a Bloomberg terminal or a finance website and see what the last shares traded at. So all that information is in their possession and only their possession. So we believe that the burden, and it's incumbent upon them to give us the proper valuation so that when we agree to a certain value and they hand over a certain amount of equity, that what they're representing is the actual value. We later found out that it wasn't. What they represented to be the value was far higher than their own internal valuation, and that's the discrepancy.
Because you were awarded a certain amount of shares, and the valuation part was the debate there. So when people walk away from the movie or read something and they hear, you guys got $65 million, why isn't that enough? That's not what you're saying. Well, it's not. It's not that simple.
There's two reasons why that's not entirely true. We're trying to get out of an agreement that was in bad faith. Facebook has internal valuations. It's incumbent upon them, it's their duty and obligation, if they're going to trade their securities, to disclose those. They did not disclose those. We believe that is a major violation. Secondly, we learned down the road that for 4 years of litigation, they deep-sixed and suppressed all of the radioactive evidence, so such as IMs showing that Mark intended to defraud us, premeditated, showing that he strung us out for 3 months, and that he even thought the sites were very identical and wondered whether they would counteract each other. So they sat on these for 4 years.
And these are IMs that reportedly came from Mark Zuckerberg's computer, right, when he was a student at Harvard with you. But these weren't part of the original negotiations with the settlement, as I understand it. These are the grounds for, in some ways, reopening the case. Is that right?
There's certainly a major issue that has come to light recently, that in the New York article, Facebook admitted having reviewed these instant messages as early as 2006. We had been in litigation by the time we were in mediation for settlement for 4 years. We never saw these documents. These are the core of the allegations we've against Facebook. They had a duty, an obligation legally to hand them over to us in discovery, and they sat on them. So they suppressed them for over 4 years. So that's a new issue that has come to light as well.
So that, in addition to the securities fraud and the other very serious allegations, we reached out to Facebook. They don't want to speak on this, but they did release a statement to us, and we've got to put it up on the screen here for you. Similar to what they've said before, we've considered the Winklevoss dispute closed for years. We wish them well. They think this is a smear campaign against Mark Zuckerberg. A personal one, obviously, and on a broader campaign, Aaron Sorkin's caricature of him wasn't necessarily very favorable. Do you take this personally? Is this a personal attack?
I think, we've always approached it in a professional manner and tried to compartmentalize it. What Mark did to us was pretty treacherous, and we were obviously very disappointed with it. But really, the reason why we're here today, and the reason why this is not a closed matter, is because Facebook, namely Mark Zuckerberg, and I use Mark because he's essentially running the ship there, has failed to make resolution, despite many good faith efforts on our part to do that.
We've got to leave it there.